Russell Ingall, one of the V8 stars the crowds have packed into Mallala to see today in round 9 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. And boy, oh boy, they got their money's worth in Heat 1 alone. It was dramatic. This is the replay of the start. Race cam, Glenn Seaton's car. Lowndes, bow, shoulder to shoulder down the straight the first time. Now watch this. Oh boy.
Nowhere for Gardner to go there.
Moments later.
There was plenty of action here, Wilco. Richards up the inside, Romano on the outside, contact there, and then this set off a terrible chain reaction. Markham now cops another huge hit on the outside. So a lot of cars getting very badly damaged in Heat 1 today.
And cars on the grid now for the second heat. Lowndes on pole position, sharing the front row with John Bowe, but in the reverse order, the way they started Heat 1. Mark Skaife, Larry Perkins on the second row. Third row, shared by Russell Ingall and Peter Brock. The fourth row, Alan Jones and Dick Johnson. And on row 5, Stephen Richards and Max Dumsney.
Seconds away from the start of Heat 2, Craig Lowndes on pole position. Just sitting over that front line, waiting for the green light. And there's never any doubt these days who's going to win the race. It's the battle for second into the first corner, and Bowe's got it. He'll lead the pack through 3 wide as they shuffle through round toward the loop. A reasonably clean start to the V8s, sorting their positions out. They come through cleanly and down the back straight for the first time. It's Lowndes with Bowe hot in pursuit as they break hard for the sweeper.
Peter Brock started great at this time and is into third place, followed by Mark Skaife.
Sensational start by Brock, down the inside of Skaife and Larry, and up to third straight away. There we see Glenn Seaton and Tony Longhurst back in the pack, making a charge through. Wayne Gardner there as well. 220
kilometres an hour through the Shell curve. Alan Jones attacking on the outside. Stephen Richards on the inside as they sort themselves under brakes for Goodyear Corner. Out through Pacific Waste curve up toward Bridgestone the first time around. It's Lowndes with Bowe right behind him. Peter Brock now up in third position. Then it's Skaife, Russell Ingall, Larry Perkins and Dick Johnson in the first of the Shell, second of the Shell FOI Falcons. There's Bowe in second position in the Holden Racing Team sandwich. Good competitive run from Mark Skaife too, just up behind Brock there in fourth position. We take Dunlop, roof cam, riding with Dick Johnson, caught up in that first corner scrap in Heat 1, back into action for Heat 2. He's running in 7th position behind Larry Perkins.
And Larry'd have to be really quite angry about that. He didn't get a bad start, but he got hung out to dry a little bit when Skaife pushed him off the edge of the road, or they were fighting for position, and dropped him back in the field a little bit. So he's got a fair bit of work to do in front of him, and the others just seem to be skipping away a little bit.
And there's John Trimble, the Ausjet Falcon, in trouble again. He was having a few dramas in Heat 1. He's looped it in Heat 2. Here's where the action is, at the sharp end of the field. Brock gets side by side with Bowe under brakes for Goodyear Corner, but not enough. Bowe on the perfect racing line on the inside. Brock tries to attack around the outside. Look how close he gets to Bowe. Gets sideways under power as he snaps it back into line, but no move on the outside of Bowe. Now he goes to the outside as they come through Bridgestone Corner. Bowe's in command through the S's. He's going to fight every inch of the way.
And just behind them, it's as close between Skaife and Ingall.
Well, these two dice in front of us, we're in with Skaife at the moment. And we're just going to be closing up on these two as they battle for position. As hard as they are, they're slowing one another down, and that'll allow Skaife to get right back on him. With the parity issue that the Ford Holden people are fighting about at the moment, what a lot of the Ford people are saying is the thing about the Commodore is it jumps out of the corner better, and
oh, look at this.
No, it won't get around there. And what we'll see here is they're saying the Commodores are capable of getting on the throttle a little bit earlier. They're getting better downforce at the back of the car, and they're just jumping out of the corners that much better. So what we're seeing here is a pretty graphic display of where the strong suit is for each vehicle. And Brock's being a lot more aggressive in this heat than he was in the first one when he was hounding Skaife and a couple of the other guys along. He just couldn't get past Russell Ingall, but he's certainly throwing everything at John Bowe at the moment.
And in 2 laps, Lowndes has gone from a half-second lead to 3.5.
3.5 seconds, so he's just put another second on the field. He's opening up a second to lap. This is the way he's been doing it quite often. Builds a very strong 4 or 5 second cushion, then he runs with the rest of the field to the rest of the race. He's doing it very, very easy, Craig Lowndes.
Well, I think these two are probably helping him a little bit at the moment. They're trying so hard to beat one another that they just allowed him to definitely slip away. You look at John Bowe, he's not even using the whole circuit on exit to get back over and do what he's allowed to do without any problem, which is hold any particular line on the circuit he wants.
Last time around, Lowndes dropped down to a 1 minute 9.3. These two still operating a 10-second bracket. Brock goes round the outside. They'll be side by side.
They're into one another.
Gee, he was lucky to survive that, Brock.
Fantastic move, though. Brock is really being aggressive, and Scapey's closed right up on them. But fantastic
what about
move
Ingle?
by Brock.
Oh.
So Scape takes advantage of that little manoeuvre. He's right up behind Brock, leaning all over him. You've got Ingle behind him. Larry Perkins now closing the gap. Tremendous scrap. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh and eighth aren't that far behind too.
Got a real freight train here now. Second, right back to ninth. That's Stephen Richards in ninth spot. They are running nose to tail, and all the while Lowndes is skipping away.
Well, as Brad Jones said, 7 laps completed. That gap has stabilised. 4.5 seconds for Craig Lowndes now, the gap over second position. So he's got that buffer, and he can protect that all the way to the finish. Look how close and tight it's getting here. Russell Ingle right up behind Mark Scaife. No opportunity to get past. 3, 4 Commodores in a Falcon sandwich.
Well, Craig Lowndes, no problems for him. High balling in front. He's the leader on the Shell race score from John Bowe. Peter Brock in second place. Mark Glenn Seaton, they came from the rear of the field at the start of this race, and they are carving up the pack. They are now up to 10th and 11th positions and coming on like gangbusters.
And they've really been carving one another up. At this rate, I'd say in another 2 or 3 laps, they'll be on the back of the group that are icing from second through to ninth.
Well, everyone else is there's Max Stumsey. Yeah. Bit of dust from the Auto Pro Valvoline Commodore. Gets back on the blacktop. Very quick times for Gardner and Seaton too. Gardner's just on a 1:19.9, so only got operating in the 10s. Now he's jumped up into the 1 minute 10-second bracket, so they're all lapping about the same pace, but Lowndes still maintaining that 4.8-second gap at the front of this pack.
John Bowe, Peter Brock, and of course Craig Lowndes continues to lead the race, but this is the battle for, well, I guess second all the way back to 10th spot.
And it doesn't look like they're giving one another too much room here. Russell certainly is all over Scapey, which is a bit surprising looking at the results in the first heat.
Oh, look at this. Brock goes really deep under brakes.
Fantastic move. But he's one out, one wide, though.
Now Bowe comes back on the inside. You can see the battle damage and the smudge marks all over the bodywork of that car. Brock would have thought he had him, but he just ran wide under brakes, went too deep. Bowe was able to pull in the title line and get back in front. He is one tough customer, John Bowe. Brock, as we've seen, trying every opportunity he had to get past Bowe. Look back through the field. There's Scaife. Ingle right behind him. Perkins. Jones in the pack leader forward. Johnson. There's Richards. There's Gardner in 10th position. As Seaton in 11th. Look at this. Another one. 220 kilometres an hour. Brock trying everything he knows. Down the outside. But Bowe just perfectly positioned. Lap after lap. Computer accuracy. Just putting his car in the place where Brock needs to be. We take Seeger Holt race cam with Mark Scaife.
And just look at the crowds cramming the banks of the stands here at Mallala today. This is fantastic.
Well, the South Australians love their motorsport, and a couple of local heroes here too. Russell Ingle and Mark Poole, privateer, running against the Group A heroes. So plenty to cheer on Mallala this afternoon. Look at Scaife working hard behind the wheel of the Seeger Commodore. Gets the back wheels up on the ripple strips as he fires out of that corner.
And we're really watching this dice from the best seat in the house. It's just fantastic how they're crawling over the back of one another like ants. Brock just searching and hoping that Bowe makes a mistake, but JB just maintaining his line and length and not putting a foot wrong.
Well, this battle between Bowe and Brock has allowed Lowndes to open it up. 5.4 seconds the gap now. The leader over this battle for second and third. Look at this tremendous scrap continuing since the green light between Mark Scaife and Russell Ingle. Ingle maintaining the attack.
And Scaife and Bowe have a similar line out of that corner. I'm not so much sure that they're actually trying to stop the other guys from coming by, but they're squaring the corner off. They're turning it tighter in the middle of the corner to make the straight a little bit longer, get the power down and drive the car out of the corner to try and gap the guy behind them a little bit.
Oh,
Ingle down the outside.
Ingle's on the outside as they shot out of Pacific Waste Curve. He's long side, but Scaife has his... Oh, big break, lock up on Scaife, and he's lost it.
They're both off. And Alan Jones, in the meantime, had got past Larry Perkins, and he's moved right up now.
Scaife, a ton of rear brake on there. Big brake lock up on the rears when the car's light and it's standing on its nose. Tried to bring it back online.
And that's put Alan Jones into 4th place.
So let's have a look at that on replay.
Look at the opposite lock going on. Scapey's got the lock around as hard as he can. Goes for a gear to drive it away. Look at him.
Oh,
picks up the gear.
Lucky to escape a collision there with Ingle. It might have been picking his way through the dust, but Scaife survives to fight another day.
And Stephen Richards a very small team. They work very hard. They race almost every weekend, and to be right in amongst these level 1 cars is a really good job. You just can't say enough good things about them that they've got the car up this far and this competitive, and he really is harassing Larry Perkins. He's all over him.
Well, he's the only leading privateer running on Bridgestone tyres this year, which could give quite a significant advantage. Seeing the performance of the Bridgestone tyres this year, they have been the dominant tyre. Big lock up there from Larry Perkins. But this ex-Gibson Motorsport Commodore has been a very effective weapon in the hands of Stephen Richards. There's Newcastle's Wayne Russell getting offline, managed to get back on the track. And here's our race leader, Craig Lowndes. Last lap now for our race leader, Craig Lowndes. This battle for second has continued. Full race distance. Peter Brock not being able to find a way past. But look at Alan Jones and the pack leader forward. Coming right up behind Brock on this final tour. And he can sniff for podium position up ahead of him. He's going to try as hard as he can to make something of it. But as you've seen, Brock said difficulty getting past Bow. I think Jones will find it equally difficult.
Bow, Brock, Jones, they can scrap amongst themselves, but I'm afraid they can't hold a candle to Craig Lowndes in this second heat of round 9, the Australian Touring Car Championship. Here comes Brock again, down the outside, trying, but no way there. Jones right underneath the tail of the Holden Racing 05 car.
Well, they'd be impressed with the speed they're getting out of these pack leader forwards. First season in 5 litre and a very, very competitive year too. And they are getting a lot of speed, consistency out of these cars. Final time into Bridgestone corner.
Meantime,
just got to block him out for a couple more turns. There's our race winner, Craig Lowndes, 2 from 2. Bow hangs on for second position. Brock in third and Alan Jones in fourth. And Gardner, a great drive to get himself up to 6th position. Man of the match.
Lordy, it's Lowndes again. He takes the checkered flag. John Bow second. Peter Brock in third place. Alan Jones is fourth. And Larry Perkins just holding up Wayne Gardner for 5th. Stephen Richards in 7th position rather. Glenn Seaton is 8th. Dick Johnson 9th. And Mark Scape, after some misadventures, finishes 10th.